Hi again. Today we're gonna be looking at introduction to Scrum. If this is your first time here, we just, looking at Agile, looking at Scrum, looking at issues that Scrum Masters face or team members face, all of the challenges, and how we can solve that. And today we're just looking at the introduction to Scrum. We're taking it back to the basics. We're going to be looking at the Scrum events. We're going to be looking at the Scrum principles. We're going to be looking at the difference between Scrum and Agile. So stay tuned. My name is Oyama Kunjwa, and I'm here to help you and your team members succeed. Cool. Let's get right to it. Maybe let's look at what Scrum is. So Scrum, it is a framework that is there to help people, teams, organizations in solving problems that are complex to generate value through adaptive solutions. Okay. So Scrum is mostly used, I think, by most companies, and it is a mostly used agile framework. It is embedded with core values and pillars, which we are going to get to as we go along. Okay, so what makes the Scrum team successful is that we have members of 5 team members up to 9 team members. I think most companies normally get this wrong. If we want Scrum to work for us, this is one of the things we really need to get right. And these team members need to be cross-functional. What we mean by that is that we have team members that are able to start a product from A and get it until the end. So meaning that you can take on requirements, develop those requirements until you get to production and maintain. So we need people that are able to do all that work without now going to another team and maybe requesting for a team member to assist with testing, but we need a team formation that has the individuals with the right skill set. That's what we mean by cross-functional. And this team needs to be built around motivated individuals. So these people need to know what they are here for, what they mean to the team, what they mean into the organization at large, why they're building what they're building. As I said as well, we need team members that has the right skills and the right capability to deliver a piece of work. Okay. And in Scrum, what we value the most is people, and we value, delivering value into a short space of time. So if there's this huge project that we need to do, we don't go and do it, all of it at the same time. But we say, what is it that is most valuable for our clients? What is it that our clients needs right now? And then we start, our development or our development of that product from that perspective. Okay, let's get to Scrum values. We have 5 Scrum values. We have courage, commitment, focus, and openness. Okay, as well as respect, sorry. The team members, they need to be encouraged enough to ask for help. They need to be encouraged enough to say no when they have reached their capacity and not keep on taking in things into the team, as that would, sort of derail them from, achieving what they would like to achieve. Commitment is very important. As Scrum team, we need to understand that we are working together, we are a unit, and whatever that we commit to as a team, we are going to commit to completing, and we will work together to ensure that we meet that goal as a team. We need people that are focused. So meaning that whatever that we're working on, we need to ensure that there is less distractions. This is where the Scrum Master comes in as well to assist the team members to ensure that, there is less distractions as possible when we are in the middle of the sprint. Ensure that, the sprint ceremonies are used to ensure that, we reduce meetings, because most of the time what takes too much time from the team is actually the meetings that are there in the organizations. So things like that, the Scrum Master maybe might assist in those. Have open conversations, be open about your work, be open about, your challenges that you're facing, so that we are able to resolve those challenges, so that we're able to meet our goals as a team. Respect, the respect goes a long way. We need to respect each other. And, whether you are a senior developer, there's a junior developer, there's somebody new in the company, new in the team in particular in this instance, we need to be able to respect each other and get across whatever we want to get across with respect, so that we are able to build the team morale. Okay. And there is also Scrum pillars, which are quite important in Scrum, in ensuring that, the Scrum team becomes the best team. We have transparency, we have inspection, we have adaptability. So everything that we do as a Scrum team, it needs to be visible. Whoever in the organization, well, in the team, product team, they need to be visibility. That is why most team, they use, certain tools or a board. Some use boards to have their backlog items that they are taking into. Now that we're working online, some they use DevOps, some use Jira. So that allows transparency in terms of what is it that we're working on, where are we with the product vision. So we want everything to be to be visible, so that everybody is aligned, and we all know where we're at. Inspections. So we need to have regular inspection in terms of our product development to avoid deviation. That is why, at the end of the sprint, we might have our demos with our product owner, so that they look at what we have done. And then if there is anything that we are not aligned on, or maybe if what we were building or what we have built is no longer, required, or maybe that's not what is currently, on and at the market, there's something new, we are able to quickly adjust to that plan, to quickly go back to the drawing board and and fix that. Adaptability, and that means that we should be able to adapt quickly. Like I said, if, for example, there's a change, for example, with COVID, I always make that example because companies had to adjust and adapt quickly to COVID and ensure that they become digital in their way of work, as well as the products that they were giving, to clients. They had to ensure that there is a way that clients can get their product without having to meet face to face. So that adaptability as Scrum teams, we need to be able to do that. Okay, let's go to what is a Scrum team. What is it composed of? There's a product owner, we've got developers, and we have a Scrum master. Product owner being the person who understands the product vision and who helps the team to prioritize the backlog. Okay. And then the developer would be anybody in the Scrum team who works on that development, of the product increment. It doesn't have to be software developers only. Anybody who is part of building, that product increment is called a developer. A Scrum Master would be the person that is helping the team in understanding Scrum and implementing in the building of the product. Okay. Let's get to Scrum events, right? I will go through them one by one so that we ensure that by the end of this video, we understand why we have these Scrum events and what are their purposes. We will start with the sprint itself. It is time boxed. I know some Scrum Masters, rather not most, and some team members, they tend to go over the sprint, but that is a mistake we need to correct. A sprint is time boxed between 1 to 4 weeks. I think most company mostly use like 2 weeks. Sprint, and we've got a sprint planning. In sprint planning, that is where, we plan in terms of what is it that we want to complete at the end of the sprint. We look at the high priority items with the help of the product owner and define our sprint goal. What is it that we're going to be focusing on? And our Scrum Master would be the one helping us just to facilitate that session. This product owner will obviously, explain the product vision so that when the team is building this product, they have in mind why they are building this product, so that we are able to cater for our clients as best as we can. We are able to build, a system that is user-friendly, that is customer-centric. So that's what we look at. And lastly, the development team has a final say in terms of what they can take into sprint. So they know how much they can complete, and therefore they are the ones who say, this is how much we can take. Okay, so the entire Scrum team attends the planning. If you can recall, we did mention that the Scrum team is made of the development team, product owner, as well as the Scrum Master. By development team, I mean developers. The maximum time for, sprint planning, it is 8 hours, which is 2 hours for one sprint, 1 week sprint, 4 hours for 2 week sprint, and 8 hours for 4 week sprint. Okay. Looking at Scrum events continuing, we've got the daily Scrum. Daily Scrum, firstly, it is not a status update meeting, but what we are looking at rather is an opportunity as a Scrum team to inspect and be able to adapt. Look at how far we are tracking towards meeting our sprint goal. Okay. And what we normally answer is, what is it that I did yesterday? What will I be doing today? And do I have any impediments that I would like assistance on? And it normally takes right about 15 minutes or less. Okay. We've got a sprint review. In this sprint review, this is an opportunity for the team and stakeholders to review the product and the increment which is potentially shippable, right? We want to look at what is it that we have built. Is there anything that we can take into production so that we can respond as quickly as possible to our customers? So the team will adapt as per the feedback received from the stakeholders. What we mean by that is, once they have looked at the possible, shippable product, there is conversations in terms of, maybe this is what we can do, this is what we can do. So from that, we also build up another, backlog of some sort. Okay, so the product owner has a final say in terms of whether this is a shippable product. This is what we can release to production. Obviously, in the sprint review, we may or may not have a demo, depending on what we were doing in the sprint. It essentially, the aim is just to inspect and adapt the capability of the product or the service that we are building for our clients. It happens every end of the sprint. That means every 2 weeks. Scrum team, stakeholders, senior managers, users, and affected departments may attend the session. And the time for this is 1 hour for 1 week sprint, 2 hours for 2 week sprint, and 4 hours for a 4-week sprint. Cool. And we have lastly the sprint retrospective. In the sprint retrospective, I like this one very much because we look at our people, we look at our processes, we look at our tools, to see what is it that we can improve. What is it that went well that we want to continue doing? What is it that did not go so well? And, we want to look at and see how we can do better next time. And yeah, so this is a very important one. And I think you may find most team members are skeptical to talk when it comes to this session. I urge Scrum Masters to ensure that, they create the safe space for the team so that they are comfortable enough to talk about, some of the challenges that, they have experienced during the sprint. The maximum of this is 3 hours, 45 minutes for 1 week sprint, 1.5 hour for 2 week sprint, 3 hours for a 4-week sprint, right? Like I said, it is very important that as Scrum Masters, we ensure that, we create a safe space for the team members. So this is just a picture that I took from Scrum Alliance. This sort of gives you on a high level, the Scrum framework. If you want to look at it at a glance, this is most probably the best picture that you can look at. It talks to everything that I have, sort of articulated in this video. And lastly, let's look at the difference between Scrum and Agile. So Agile is a mindset that helps business to succeed in uncertain circumstances. This means that you've got a project, on a high level, what is it that you want, but you are not 100% sure. You know where you want to get it, you've got a vision on this thing, but you don't have set requirements as a start. So Agile, it is the best methodology that you can sort of use because you can, you can do this chunk by chunk and be able to deliver something to your clients early, with obviously good skill sets of team members, with good architects, to ensure, that you are able to build the product incrementally. Okay, cool. And Agile has got a set of principles and shared values. Scrum being one of the framework that is used and is mostly used. Okay, Scrum commonly used to organize work to maximize value, right? And it is normally at a team level, while Agile, it is at an organizational level, and it is looking at things like culture, company leadership. So it doesn't have to be, IT teams that use Agile or use Scrum for that matter. It could be teams that are absolutely has nothing to do with IT. So I hope this video, explains Scrum nicely, and explains the difference between Scrum and Agile. Please do comment on the sessions. Please let me know what you would like us to discuss. Till we meet again. Thank you. Bye.